Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and I will be the trainer for this hour. Today, are going to go over the difference between British English and American English. We will go through a worksheet, and then we will talk about languages and maybe a little bit about your language and things like that. So we will start with vocabulary development and talking about the difference between British English and American English. And does it really matter whether you know the difference? And then we will go through some discussion. So, all right. And hello, Nacho. How are you today?
Hello, Holly. How are you? I'm fine
Very
too
good.
today. Mhm.
Very good. Now, okay, let me see if I remember. You are from Brazil.
No.
Oh, I didn't get it again. Okay,
Yeah.
you're Spain?
Yes, yes. I'm from Spain.
Spain. I don't know why it is that I think that you're from Brazil, but do I guess that every time?
Uh, Sorry?
Do I guess Brazil every time?
No. The last time you guessed Chile.
Chile, okay, but it is South America. I think it's because of the nacho. Is that your name or is it a nickname?
It's a nickname. It's a common name for Ignacios. Ignacios. Sometimes they call them are Nacho.
But it's also a food in at least in
Yeah.
English.
It's a food. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's why I'm thinking South America,
Yeah.
because of course it's Mexican food in my mind. So
Yeah. Mexican food, but yes.
yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it eventually. So what time is it right now in Spain?
Now is 11 o'clock in the
Okay.
morning.
All right. And it's 4 a.m. here.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to teach it this time, and then I saw that no one had taken it, no one had taken it, no one had taken it. So I went, okay, I'll do it. 4 and 5. So and hi Mohammed, how are you today? Mohammed, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi, how are
Yes.
you?
Fine. Alhamdulillah.
Excellent. So where are you from, Mohammed?
Actually, I'm from Egypt.
Egypt. Awesome. Well, welcome. Welcome to this class. Are you new to verbling? Are you new here at verbling?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, you are a new student. Awesome. Well, we have Nacho so far from Spain, and then my name is Holly, and I'm from the U.S. I live in Idaho, and which is
Okay.
in the
Cool.
northwest of United States. And so it's nice to meet you. Today we are going to actually go over the difference between British English and American English. And so Nacho, um, do you usually study British English or American English?
When I was young, I used to learn British English,
Uh-huh.
but lately it's Berlin, and there are a lot of there are a lot more teachers from America than from England, and
Uh-huh.
I understand much better the American English than the British English.
Okay. But you studied British English when you were younger, but now you're hearing more American English.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Mohammed? Do you study American English or British English, or do you even know?
Actually, I didn't even know, but actually, I think it's material. British. I think it's British.
Uh-huh.
British.
British English. Okay.
Yes.
Um, all right. And welcome, Jabo. How are you today? How are you again?
I'm
So
fine. Nice
been a
to see
couple
you
hours.
again.
Yeah. Jabo is from Taiwan,
Yeah.
and we have Mohammed here from Egypt, and he's new to verbling, so welcome him. Nacho from Spain, and then hello, Ming, and
Hello.
Ming is from Hong Kong. So welcome. And then, so, Jabo, which do you study? American English or British English, or do you even
Uh,
know?
I think I started from American English. Yeah.
Okay, American English. And I
Yes.
think that that is actually in Asia, I think that's more common actually.
Yes.
So, and Araceli is trying to get in. She looks like she's dropping off. So, and how about you, Sun Ming? Do you study more American English or British English? Or do you know? Sun Ming? So, hi Araceli, how are you today?
Hello, doing great.
Oh,
I'm
great.
just spending the weekend
Uh-huh.
with, yes, I'm in Valencia and with my family. So,
Awesome.
but my connection is really bad.
Okay.
So maybe I drop off, I don't know.
Okay. It will drop off sometimes. Okay. So, a question for you. Do you study more American English or British English?
I think I was not sure, but at the beginning when I was a child, I think I was learning British English.
Uh-huh.
Although I wasn't able to distinguish both, but I think it was British English.
Uh-huh.
But then when I started talking with people, I think most of the people I have talked to in English were Americans.
Okay.
And I went to the United States when I was 17 and I started talking in English and learning there. So I think and after that movies, teachers, every kind of English I have been exposed to is American English. So
Okay.
now for me it's hard to understand British English.
Okay.
But
So,
I think at the beginning they were teaching me that English, British English,
British.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah, exactly. My experience has been I taught for 7 year sorry 2 years in Asia, and then I taught for a couple year or a year and a half in the States, and mostly to Asians, and then I moved to Finland and I taught there for 11 years. And my experience has been when I was teaching Asians, it was definitely American English, and but when I was living in Finland, almost all the material was British English. And so I learned that it's really great to use British English material, and as an American I can add the American English to it. So if for those of you who've noticed, have been to my classes, a lot of times you'll see that I'm using British English material, and I do that really if I have a choice between British and American. That way I can teach you both, because as international citizens, you guys run into both basically a world English. You might listen to somebody from Poland and talk to somebody from Poland who's speaking British English, and then you might turn around and talk to somebody from Japan who's speaking American English. So it's important for you guys to know, unfortunately, all the Englishes, right? Depending on your personal situation. So as an American who has lived in Europe, I find it's very important to teach both. And so when I see this material about the difference between British and American English, I love it. It's just something I really enjoy. So anyway, Paolo, welcome. So tell me, Paolo, what do you do you remember studying American English or British English?
Well, I started studying American English,
Uh-huh.
uh, but I studied from English Town,
Mm-hmm.
teach us the British English. I think it's interesting both.
Okay. Yeah. So you've studied both. Awesome. And you are from Brazil, right?
Yes, and from
Okay.
Brazil.
And Nacho, I thought he was from Spain. So I keep thinking that Nacho is from somewhere in South America. So um, okay, let's go ahead and get started on this. A truck or a lorry. So a truck is American English, a lorry is British English. Okay, first of all, let's talk about is your language evolving? Let's talk about, first of all, Spanish. We've got some Spanish speakers here, Nacho and Araceli. Is the Spanish language evolving? Is it changing a little at all?
Are you asking to me?
Yeah, we'll ask you first, and then Araceli can add her opinion.
Okay. Yes, I think Spanish is very evolving. It's evolving
Uh-huh.
every day because there are a lot of countries where it's, the language is Spanish, and there are different, very different ways to speak Spanish from South America to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that it's the same thing with English between America and England. That you can talk with one that has a very hard accent. You find it difficult to understand him. In Spanish, it works similar. If you talk with someone with a very hard accent, it's difficult to understand for one that speaks Spanish but with a different Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a language very, very, very live.
Mm-hmm.
Something everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Araceli.
are picking up of the words that people use in the street.
Okay. I'm having difficulty understanding you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just could you increase your volume just a little bit, maybe?
Okay. I try.
Okay. All right. Araceli, do you agree with Nacho?
Yes, I think there is a huge variety of Spanish. It depends on
Mm-hmm.
the part of the world people live. I suppose it's the same thing with English. So for me, maybe I have a hard time to understand some Spanish speakers, and some people from America find it really difficult to understand the Spanish that is spoken in certain regions in Spain. So it's almost a different language. It's not a different language, but the accent is very different.
Uh-huh.
And also, I think Spanish is alive. Of course, it's
Uh-huh.
changing every day,
Uh-huh.
and we see a lot of influence of another languages. For example, from English,
Uh-huh.
especially with, I don't know, technology, new things that are coming. So many times we take the words from English, maybe, and this increases the language. But some people don't like it because they say we are taking Anglicisms, words that are not ours, and
Yeah.
sometimes even there are words in Spanish that are with the same meaning, but uh, using the English word becomes more popular.
Yeah.
But I think it's not that bad. I think every language is evolving, and maybe we would be still speaking Latin if we were so angry with changes to the languages.
Yeah.
So Spanish is a bad spoken, maybe Latin,
Yeah.
like our Italian or French.
Mhm.
So things change, and you have to to change with things,
Mhm.
to
Okay, thank
evolve
you.
with things.
Thank you very much. Mohammed, what do you think? Is Arabic evolving?
Actually, hello,
Hello? Yes?
hello. Actually, I don't understand the question.
Is it
Can
change?
you?
Is the language changing? Is it is the Arabic language, does it is there different vocabulary and different ways to speak than maybe 50 years ago?
For sure, yes.
Yes. Okay.
It's totally different. Actually, Arabic, we have something called Fusha. Okay, if you learn Fusha, all Arabic people, all countries will be, they will understand you. But each country is having, or not each country, each uh, each city
Uh-huh. Okay.
having their own vocabularies. Uh, Actually, it's easy to me to know this guy from from Alexandria, this guy from Suez, this guy from Cairo, this guy from Giza.
Uh-huh.
Also, nowadays we have like poor language, poor Arabic, poor language. It's, it's hard to understand and even humiliated. It's not good at all.
So what exactly is poor Arabic?
Poor Arabic is poor expressions. Like
Ah,
if you want something, say it's beautiful. You see something beautiful, you say it's beautiful. Now in Arabic you say it's جيد. Uh, you say حلو. Nowadays something good. يعني it's
uh-huh.
something not good language.
So it's so so it's kind of like people have gotten lazy with their expressions.
yes.
Okay. And yeah, I would say instead of poor, I would say lazy. Because when I think of poor, I think of people who are economically poor. So,
Ah,
yeah.
so can you read the word?
Yeah, I'll write the word down. So it's basically lazy.
Yeah, I'm talking about the poor word. What's the expression you use?
Excuse me?
I'm saying it's poor language, so you say
I would
there
say
are different.
yeah, I would say lazy expressions.
Okay, there's expressions.
Yeah. All right, thank you. And Chinese, Jabo, or no, do you speak Chinese or do you speak Taiwanese? Because I know there's a difference.
We say and use Mandarin. Yeah.
Okay, Mandarin.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about and Ming? Some Ming, do you speak also Mandarin or do you speak Cantonese?
I speak Cantonese.
Okay, so you can speak for different languages. Okay, so Jabo how about Mandarin Chinese? Has there been a big language change in Mandarin Chinese in the
Mm,
last
uh, I feel that the pronunciation of Mandarin uh, doesn't change very much, but as they go by, due to the internet and advanced technology, some
uh,
some terms coming out, some new words and coming out, and even older people don't understand what the words meaning. Yeah. The
okay.
words, yeah, has changed.
Okay, so it is because of the internet and things like that. There's a lot of borrowed words and borrowed expressions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And some. How about Cantonese Chinese? Or do you say
Uh,
Chinese or just Mandarin?
yeah. The Mandarin and Cantonese character is the same, but just the pronunciation is not same.
Mm-hmm.
In Cantonese, the young people they like to concentrate the word in the internet,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe in their communication. So we may not can mm, understand what they say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it is also changing as well. Okay, and how about Portuguese? And I'm sorry I spelled it wrong. Um, Paulo.
Yes, Portuguese changed a lot during the years.
Mm-hmm.
Brazilian Portuguese is different from Portuguese from Portugal. Our roots are in Portugal, were in Portugal, but uh, we have a big difference between Portuguese from Portugal and Brazilian Portuguese.
Okay.
And around the country, northeast, southeast, and central west, the language changed too, the dialect. Our language is mix the African people, indigenous people, and Portuguese people. So we have in Brazilian some words from Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and in Portugal, the beginning of Portugal was invading by Arabian people, so Portuguese received influence from our Arabic too, and so Portuguese is a language, live language, so change during our life all the time.
Exactly. And have you guys ever listened to foreigners who live in your country? The reason I ask that is when I lived in Finland and when I was talking to other English speakers who had lived in Finland a long time, we would always put in Finnish expressions in our sentences, and we would have sentences that our families in our home countries would not understand. Have you ever heard that, like a foreigner speaking English, but then all of a sudden they put in a word that's from your language?
Yes, we have different kind of group speaks differently, and some families have different dialect. For example, my family, we are descendant from Italian people, and in my family we have some word that express from Italian and mixed to Portuguese and produce a new dialect. And we have this kind of things in other groups of Brazil, in my city, in our state. I live in a state called Minas Gerais. Minas Gerais receive, stay in contact with north, south, and west of Brazil. And in each space of Minas Gerais, we have different cultural, different influence in dialect and language differently.
All right, thank you. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to read an article about the language changing in English, and it should be very interesting. So let's go ahead and start. Araceli, could you read the first paragraph?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the language in your country changing? Does the younger generation use expressions that baffle their grandparents? Recent what are the choices? Research. Recent research into British English has shown that there has been a rapid rise in the use of American English in everyday conversation.
Yeah, and okay. And first of all, are there any words in those two paragraphs that Araceli read that is that you guys do not know?
Baffle.
Okay. Baffle. Anybody else? Baffle means to confuse. So basically, younger generations use expressions that confuse their grandparents. So baffle means confuse. Okay, because sometimes it has to do with surprise as well. Okay. Next paragraph. Jabo, could you read that next paragraph?
Okay. My children use words I'd never say, explains Carol Bryant. My son bought me season 2 of Downton Abbey for this is breaking. Okay. My youngest describes everything as awesome. I think they must be watching too much American TV.
Okay. And number 3, Mohammed, could you read the next paragraph?
Yeah, from it's not job.
Right. Yeah, right here. The biggest.
Okay, the biggest catalyst for change. Catalyst for change is certainly the media. British television schools are filled to prime with comedy shows from the USA. The popularity of Facebook and Twitter means that American English has strong influence on its British cousins.
On its British cousin, and
Sorry,
filled to the brim.
person to the brim.
Filled to the brim. Does anybody know what filled to the brim means?
No.
The grill.
Filled to the brim. Any idea?
I can get it from the meaning. British television screens are filled to the brim with a comedy. All the TV, all the schedule was filled with this comedy shows.
Oh,
Can you say the grill?
say that again.
Can you say the grill? The grill.
The grill? No.
No?
No. So actually, let me show you, give you a visual for filled to the brim. If you have coffee or a drink and it's filled to the brim, it's filled to the very, very top. So right here, it's filled to the brim. Like you would never give a child something that is filled to the brim. So in this respect, in this article, they're saying that British television schedules have way too many shows from the USA. Basically all of their shows on TV have American shows. So, all right, let's go to the next. And also the biggest catalyst. Does anybody know what a catalyst is?
No.
Any idea? A catalyst is yes.
I think it's something that makes a reaction. It's a chemistry word, and it means, in a more metaphorical sense, something that makes people or society change. In this case,
It's a catalyst. I was hoping that there'd be a visual, but there wasn't. Yeah. So something that actually causes something to change or something to it provokes. The biggest reason for change is certainly the media. So it's the catalyst for like for example, the catalyst for the Americans, for actually the world, but especially the American airports to increase their security was 911. That was the catalyst, and things like that. So it's something that starts the change. So, okay, let's go to the next.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
I don't understand the sentence. My son bought me season 2 of Downton Abbey for Christmas. What is Downton Abbey? A TV series? Or?
Downton Abbey is a TV series, and it's a very popular British TV series. And my mom absolutely loves it. I've never seen it. I know nothing about it.
But why is the word season but put this way? How do British call a season?
I don't know. I think it must have been it could be cereal, but I'm not sure. Actually, that's one of the British words. I don't know. I'm sorry. Hopefully it will. Because I know that cereal they call like on TV. I know that they say cereal when we say series. But I don't know what season would be. I'm sorry. But thank you for asking.
I don't know any another word for season. So I was asking. For me, it's not weird. Season is the normal word.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Nacho, could you read the next paragraph? It's right. Okay. It is.
It is not just spoken English that is changing in the UK. Spelling is becoming increasingly Americanized. Yell is much more common or
I would say widespread.
Widespread, yeah, than goal. And the distinction between practice and practice is bordering on obsolete.
Okay. And one thing that's interesting about this is the American academic world. Those are people, university professors and above. They are usually confusing American and British English spelling all the time. I had a professor that just told me I just can't remember when to when to use OU and when not to use OU. So it's interesting that the British young are changing and the American academics are moving over to British English. So Paolo, could you read the next one?
Although there are many who decry the increasing influence of American English in the UK, it's not a new phenomenon. Words such as reliable, talented, and influential were originally imported from the US. Few people in Britain would now view these words as foreign.
Okay, thank you. Commentators have been complaining about changes in British English for many years. One writer in 1712 wanted to fix our language forever so that no one else would change. Other people, however, would argue that the ability of English to adapt to a changing world is its greatest strength. Okay, are there any other words that you guys do not know? I'm saying, hearing
Decry?
that decry. Although there are many people who decry, who complain, maybe complain about. Decry is actually not used all that much, unless it's British English and it's used a lot. But I only see it in written form. Very rarely hear it. So, any other words? Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose the best explanation for the underlined words or phrases. So, Paolo, could you do number 1? If something baffles you, and then you can choose this one.
Okay. I don't know, but I will try that if something baffles you, you criticize it strongly, it upsets you, you talk about it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and these 3 choices over here, you cannot understand it.
Okay, I understand, yes.
Yeah, you cannot understand it. Okay, and so, okay, thank you. And Mohammed, could you do number 2?
A catalyst for change, making something change when no, trying
Um,
to change. Uh, I think, I don't know actually.
excuse
What's
me?
that? I don't
Your
know.
your sound isn't very good. Could you try to increase your volume somehow?
I don't know. A catalyst for change, make something. The only reason something change tries to stop something for change. You see something related to airports in America.
Yeah, no, yeah, I use that as an example. Um, that a catalyst for change is something that makes a person change, makes a person or an organization change. It changes quickly, but it gives a reason for the change. And so, like in the American airports, before pre 911, were very people could walk with non-passengers could go all over the airport. After 911, non-passengers could not. So the 911 was a catalyst for change in the American airports. That's one example. In this example, American TV is a catalyst for change in British speaking English. So
Sound sometimes cuts. Maybe your internet is bad.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you. Say that again.
Your sound continues. I don't know.
I don't know. Your sound is not very good. So say that again.
Your sound continuous cutting. So the word is missing for me.
Okay.
Maybe my internet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, basically what this is, a catalyst for change makes something change more quickly.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, 911 changed the U.S.'s airports. What else made a change? In 1968, the Olympics in Germany changed the security. There was a catalyst for changing the security in the Olympics. What else? The Vietnam era changed. There was a catalyst for changing. That was a catalyst for changing the Vietnam era. The hippie era in the United States was a catalyst for changing gender roles in the U.S., for changing the way women are treated. The hippie era. So a lot of things can be a catalyst, something that makes something else change. Okay. Number 3, Jabo, could you try number 3?
Okay. If TV is filled to the brim with American shows, it means there are lots of American shows, right?
Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Okay, and then Nacho.
Yes, number 4. If something is bordering obsolete, it's very rarely used.
It's very rarely used, yes. On obsolete is how we say it, obsolete. Okay, so Paolo, number 5.
If you decry something, you criticize it strongly.
Yes, you criticize it strongly, you complain. Exactly. Okay, so let's see if we can use these words. Number 1, Jabo, can you try this one?
Okay. Julian's closet is filled with clothes he never wears.
Okay, so Julia's closet is filled to the brim with clothes he never wears. Okay. Number 2, Mohammed.
Was the professor not the law flavor of spelling among his students? Puffles?
Excuse me?
Puffles?
No, he wasn't baffled. He actually, the professor maybe decried so he complained about, or he decried the low level of spelling among his students. So, okay, Nacho, number 3.
Number 3, computers and emails just buffer my parents.
Yes.
Buffer my parents. I have not either called or read letters.
Okay, number 4, Jabo.
Yes. I can't buy 35 millimeters film anywhere nowadays. I think it is bordering on obsolete.
Okay, obsolete. Okay. Okay, and Paolo, number 5.
Having children was a great catalyst in John's life.
Yes, catalyst. So it was a great way of change. Okay. Okay, so we've already talked about number 1. Next question. Nacho, in Spanish, do you speak a standard dialect?
Yes, I think I speak the standard dialect of Spanish because I was born in Madrid. In Madrid, everybody speaks the most common Spanish.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next question. We're not going to answer all these questions because we've got a couple other things I want to do. So, Mohammed, does America or the UK have a strong influence on your country culturally?
UK having a strong culture about American because they show American shows.
Okay, so the UK has a strong influence, but Americans do too because of the shows. Okay, excellent. Jabo, do you watch American or British TV shows or movies?
Yeah, sometimes in my home, in my free time, I watch American TV shows.
Okay, in your home.
Yeah, to practice my English, to practice listening.
Uh-huh. Do you watch British as well or just American?
Most of them American. Yeah.
Okay. There's a British show that is I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but it's brilliant. It's called Keeping Up Appearances.
Oh, keeping up the appearance. Okay.
Appearances. And it's about a lady that is trying to live above her level of social status and the things that she does to try to keep everybody thinking she's higher and she's not being fooled. She's not fooling anyone. And it's hilarious. And if you have a chance, I think they speak a standard British dialect as well.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen it?
Could you type the name on the chat bar?
What?
Could you type the name?
It's on the Verbling chat. Do you need the other chat too?
Keeping up.
Yeah. Keeping up appearances.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and type it in the regular chat as well. But it's I'll show you on Google Images what it looks like. But it is like for a British show, it's brilliant, and the dialogue is great. And you can pretty much understand it, even if you don't know English that well. But these are the actors right here. This is the main actress, and her name is Mrs. Bucket, but she calls herself Mrs. Bouquet. And but this would be like the show. But if you can find it on a Netflix or something like that, it's hilarious. This is the main actress, and she's trying to pretend like she's really, really high society, and this is her sister and brother-in-law who are not high society. So, but it's hilarious. Anyway, let's go on.
Excuse me, what means hilarious?
Hilarious? Okay, let me write it down. Funny.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay.
Funny. Yeah, it means funny. I spelled it wrong. Okay. Now, Nacho, do you think there is a big difference between American and British English? And do you think Americans and British people can understand each other easily?
Yes, I think there are a lot of difference between American and English, British English. I think, I think that they can understand if the accent is not very weird. But I think I've heard English speakers that they can't understand, for example, the Scotland accent.
Yeah.
This week, I've been talking with an Australian guy that said that it was impossible for him to understand the Scotland accent.
Yep.
For me, it's very hard, of course, because Scotland accent is terrible.
I've experienced that as well. People from Scotland, unless they have learned the what's called the RP, it's called received pronunciation, it's very difficult to understand. So, and in fact, my dad had somebody who from Scotland living, who was here in the States working for him, and everyone had a trouble understanding him. So, yeah. All right, let's go on. Let's talk about the differences between British and American English. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make this a little smaller, and we're going to do a matching. And I learned something today when I was preparing. Yesterday, I taught a class the word faucet, this word right here, and somebody asked me about tap. And tap, and I didn't realize that tap is British English. So I've learned something new here. So, okay, so let's see if you guys can match the British words with the American words, okay? And we do not have to go in order, so whichever words you find. So let's start with Jabo.
Yes.
So tell me see if you can find.
This is British words. Yeah.
British is British on this side, Americans on this side.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, do you have any idea?
You want to guess the?
Yeah, just guess. Any of these words? Just choose one of these words. And if you know the American equivalent, just tell me and I'll write it down.
Okay, I know Q. Q means line.
Okay, yes. And it's actually in the same line too. So
Yeah.
Q is line. Okay? All right. And Mohammed, do you know one of these?
For sure, Lorry on the track, but we think about it.
Any idea? Mohammed?
Yes, I'm thinking about it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Something.
No worries.
National. Holiday and vacation.
Okay, holiday and vacation, perfect. Holiday and vacation. And Nacho, can you choose one?
Yes, dummy pacifier.
Dummy and pacifier. Okay. And it's funny because I don't use either one of those words. I use the word, this is slang, of course, but it's binky. That's the word. There's a lot of families that have different words for that, for pacifier. Okay, and Paolo.
Pavement, sidewalk.
Yes, pavement and sidewalk. Perfect. Okay, and Jabo.
Okay, lorry vs truck. Right.
Yes, lorry is a truck. Okay, and Mohammed. Mohammed, are you there?
Yes,
Okay.
trying to watch something.
Okay, no worries. Sometimes there's silence and it just means a person's trying to talk, but their audio went out. So
Other audience can use it. Might
I'm sorry.
other audience can use my turn now. Give it to him.
Okay, somebody else. So Nacho.
Yes. Another one.
Yep.
Lift.
Okay.
Elevator.
Elevator. Lift and elevator. Okay. Apollo.
Wardrobe. Wash clothes.
No. No.
Wardrobe.
So are in Jabo? Can you see one that you know?
Okay. Wardrobe is closet.
Closet. Yeah.
Clothes. Yes.
Closet. Okay. Okay. Anybody else see anybody that you know? Just go ahead and start saying it.
Petrol.
Yes, for example, nappy, diaper.
Nappy and diaper. Yes. Okay.
Petrol, gas.
Petrol
Petrol and
gas.
gas. Yes. Okay.
Full stop period.
Yes. Anyone else? A tap. This was my new one earlier today. A tap is a faucet. Does everybody know what a faucet is or a tap?
Yes. Is the
What is
the
what?
cabinet where you open
The coming
the
out
water
from the
goes
faucet.
out.
Yeah, so the water comes out of, yeah. Okay. A corrugate is a food item. Can anybody find a food item on the list? A corrugate is a zucchini. Does everybody know what a zucchini is or a corrugate?
No.
Okay, so awesome, new words, not just British and American English. Let's talk about what a zucchini is. And I for a long time I didn't know that. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing the American or the British English word right, actually. So a zucchini is this right here. So that's a zucchini. Okay, and next one, a drawing pin. Any idea what that would be? That is a thumbtack. You guys know what a thumbtack is? Tell me if you don't. Everybody does? Silence?
I think it's like
Stationary, right? Then stationary tool. That's
a
fine.
small nail.
Yeah, it's like a small nail, exactly. That's what a thumbtack is. So a drawing pin. So okay, dustbin is a garbage can.
Garbage bin.
Garbage or a trash can. And flannel would be
Washcloth.
washcloth. Now that's a new one for me as well, because to me flannel is a type of material. So, and then grill is a broil. So,
Broil, but
broil.
no broil.
Yeah.
The first one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep. This one right here.
VROIL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But here you write VROLL. It's the typo.
Oh, okay. It is it's this is obviously spelled wrong. There's no such thing as brawl in American English. So, and according to the answers, it's broil. So, on this
Broil?
material, yeah, it's broil. Does everybody know what broil is? Or to grill?
Maybe roaster something.
It has to,
Barbecue.
yeah, it's part of barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely part of barbecues, and they call it grill, we call it broil, and yeah, it's a cooking thing when you cook meat.
But in America, do you use broil or grill?
We use both, and that's why we use grill when you're barbecuing. I think they do too. So one of the things that's frustrating is, you know how in the article it said that a lot of British are starting to use American English words. Well, same thing that's happening in the U.S. as well. We are starting to use a lot of British English words. So sometimes I'll see a list like this, and there'll be a word on the British side that is something that we use more than the American word. Which in this respect, that's what we use. We use grill more than broil.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I heard always grill.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we have. All right. Well, it was a pleasure working with you all, and thank you for your participation. I hope you learned some new words today, and that was the goal. And again, welcome to Verbling, Mohammed, and thank you very much, everybody. I hope to see you in another class.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.